Hello, you beautiful souls. I want to welcome you back to the Momship Mastery Podcast. I am your host, Andrea, and I am here to guide you on this journey of motherhood. Today, we're going deep into the topic that's really close to my heart, and that is faith and belief, the anchors in the momship journey. We know that motherhood has its own set of challenges and changes that we often experience, right? Today, we're going to really try to explore how having a foundation of faith and belief serves as a compass that guides us through a lot of these unpredictable parts of motherhood. Welcome to the Momship Mastery Podcast, the ultimate destination for moms seeking balance, connection, and growth in their journey through motherhood. I'm your host, master's level therapist and life coach, Andrea Baker. Here at the Momship Mastery, we believe that motherhood is a purposeful journey filled with discoveries, challenges, and countless opportunities for growth. Our mission is to provide you incredible moms with the wisdom, inspiration, and tools to flourish as you nurture your relationship with yourself and those around you. Each week, we will dive into transformative conversations, therapeutic insights, and practical tips to empower you to thrive as a mom while still maintaining your unique identity. From self-care strategies to relationship building, from spiritual growth to parenting insights, I've got you covered. So if you're ready to embark on this journey with us, hit that subscribe button and let's explore the world of motherhood, relationships, and growth together. Remember, you're not alone on this journey, and we're here to support you every step of the way. So, like I said, motherhood, no matter what phase you're in, has its own set of uncertainties, right? We have the learning curves, we get frustrated, and then we have fears that we have to navigate. And these change at different points of our children's lives. When we're starting off, we're afraid because we've never done this before, or we are fearful that, maybe we're not doing something the best that we can, or because we got frustrated, then that makes us a bad mom. And a lot of times we struggle with these things because I believe that at the heart of us, we desire to do well. We desire to parent our children. We desire for them to have a good life, and we put the weight of that on our shoulders. We put the responsibility of our children, we put that responsibility on ourselves. So with so much uncertainty, of course it causes senses of anxiety and pressure and fear because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how this is going to work out. We don't know how this is going to end. We don't know if we did that correctly, if we said that correctly. We don't know if they really understand how we meant that to come across. And we have all of these uncertainties, and we have all of these thoughts and fears, and it's really can be challenging to navigate alone. And when we're trying to navigate these fears and frustrations, I often use my faith as a guiding force that helps me in the unpredictable. As a person of faith, I understand that life is going to get unpredictable. There are going to be things that we cannot control, and that is exactly how God has intended it. Because when we get too comfortable in ourselves and when we get too comfortable in our own abilities, then that means we're not as cognizant about seeking the will of God and seeking His face and really continuing to have that relationship with Him. We're more so concerned of our own thoughts and our own wills and our own ways because we feel that we have this. So I really believe that is one of God's ways of making sure we stay connected to Him and we stay seeking Him because of the uncertainties. We don't know what's going to happen, so we continue to seek His face and to really look for Him for answers. And by Him being our help and by Him giving us the grace and the compassion, that just gives us an ability to continue to move and to continue to do the thing that we feel is challenging to do. And I say this because sometimes we are so hard on ourselves, and sometimes we feel like we should know so many things and we should have the answers to all these problems and all these things, and it gets way too heavy, and it feels like maybe I wasn't really called to do this, or maybe I'm not the best person to do this, right? Maybe I can't parent in the way that I thought I would be able to parent. Maybe the the things of my past are just way too strong, and we kind of go down this rabbit hole or this spiral of self-pity and immobility. And then God gives us grace and compassion, and he teaches us how to be kinder to ourselves and how to look to him for that strength that we need. And when we posture ourselves to look to him, then we come out of that with more strategy and more strength to deal with the thing that we felt that we were incapable of dealing with before. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've had those times where I feel like I just couldn't go any further. It was just like, I really don't know how to do this, God. I'm like, I really just feel incapable. I don't know that I am the right person for this. And it just, it feels like such a heavy burden on you, where you're just taking it to him and you're just crying out to him. And once you've cried it out and once you've given it back to him, you felt a sense of peace and relief. So that's when God is trading your distress for his peace and your cries for his strength and his strategy, right? You ever come out of prayer with more clarity and more strategy, then that is how we can navigate this thing. That is why faith is so important in this, because we can't do it from our own strength. It was never intended for us to know everything. It was never intended for us to be perfect at the things that God has called us to, because we have to be developed in them. The only way for us to be developed in the way that God is intended is to go to him ourselves and to seek the strategy and the wisdom that he has for our lives, that is specific to you, that is specific to you as a mother to your children, that is specific to you as it relates to the goals you have, the business dreams you have, all of those things. That is the way that we can really let that burden off of ourselves, or to relieve ourselves of these burdens, is by giving them back to him. When we look to our faith, or when we look to our belief, and we look at how it affects our mindset, a lot of times when we are struggling in belief, when we are struggling in our faith, our mindset seems to be more fixed. It seems like, I just can't do this. I'll never be able to do this. I was never called to do this. I don't have the tools to do this. I'm just not able. I'm not capable. I procrastinate too much. I'm too this. I'm too that. That's usually our mindset when we are not tapped into, our faith. But when we are able to kind of reposture ourselves, and when we're able to really seek, the face of God, and really try to go to him with just a mustard seed of faith, right? Just a mustard seed of faith, we'll notice that our expectations begin to change. Our mindsets begin to change. It begins to change into, well, maybe he can do this through me, right? Maybe he will be able to allow me to help my child through this situation. Maybe, just maybe, he'll do this like he did before. Or maybe, just maybe, he'll do something brand new, right? We begin to notice a shift in our mindset and in our expectation and in our hearts, because the burden has been lifted off of us. The burden of achievement, the burden of delivery, the burden of having to do it, it's not on us. So I think for 2024, my word of the year is believe. So the statement I came up with was, I believe in God's purpose for my life. I believe in my ability to achieve it. And I believe in God's people. And it sounds very simple. But for me, it's like, I never had a issue believing that God had purpose, but in my own ability, sometimes I struggle to believe that I can actually do it. Sometimes I struggle to believe that this is actually what he said to do. Sometimes I struggle in believing in myself, and very seldom, sometimes I struggle in believing in some people, some hard relationships, some hard conversations with people. Sometimes I struggle to believe, I'm like, God, did you really put them in my life for a reason? Because they are testing me. But I have to remind myself by affirming, I believe this, God. I believe this. I believe that you did this intentionally. I believe that they're in my life for a reason. I believe that I can help them in this way. I believe that I can do what you said I can do. Just by that, we're able to grow in our mindset. We're able to grow in our belief. We're able to see the small things that are happening to confirm our belief in the thing that we're stating. And then we begin to posture ourselves when we are responding to our challenges. Our faith shapes the way we respond to these challenges, right? So if we posture ourselves to stand firm on belief that God is going to do what he said he's going to do, then when we face a challenge, our response reflects that belief. So what we are believing believing, our response is going to reflect it. So if I believe that I'm incapable, then when a challenge comes, I'm going to say, I knew it, right? I knew that I couldn't do this. I knew that I wasn't going to be successful at this. But if my belief says that I know that God has put me here to do this, and I know that He's going to give me the ability, He's going to give me the strategy to overcome this, then when I'm hit with a challenge, then I say, how can I learn from this? What is the intention for this, right? Because my belief is that everything works for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. So now my posture is not in the stance of, I knew I couldn't do it. It's, what am I supposed to learn from this? What am I supposed to gain from this, right? How is this going to be useful later in my life? And that's really how I try to keep my faith posture. God is able to do all these things, but if we don't believe in ourselves, then we'll never take action. Whatever that looks like for you, you'll never act on it. If you have a goal and you say that, I'm going to be a mom that does these things, these activities, we're going to do 10 activities a year and we're going to have, this type of time. But if you don't believe that you're capable of doing this, you'll never start by taking that first step. You'll never move, in the direction of your capabilities. So it's important for us to grow in the faith that we have in our own capabilities as a mother. And sometimes when we lack faith in ourselves, God with determination in spite of that, right? Sometimes we lack faith in ourselves and God gives us determination instead. It's like, I don't know that I'm able to do this, but I'm determined to learn. That's growth mindset. I don't know that I have the creativity to accomplish this, but I know how to go look it up, and I know how to, watch a video, go look on Pinterest. I know how to fill in the gaps between my abilities and what I want. And in this, remember, just embracing that self-compassion, being compassionate towards yourself, giving yourself the chance to learn, the chance to become, and just really banishing that self-doubt, because that's a limiting belief. That's not something that's going to be helpful for you. And then knowing that this is a journey and knowing that we need faith to help us through this journey, just understanding how we have all of these changes and ups and downs and challenges, it makes this thing seem really long and stretched out. And it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not something we're going to accomplish very quickly, right? Once you become a mother, you're a mother. That's who you are, but you're also so much more than that. And learning that, growing in that, and figuring out what that means for you, that's a long run. That's a life game. That's not something that we learn one day and it's set in stone. Like, that identity changes from time to time. And we have to understand that our faith and our belief in ourselves and in the journey, and in knowing that this is a long game, it eases the weight of those daily challenges. We know that we don't have to get it perfect today. There's tomorrow. We can do our best today, but knowing that the weight of the world is not on our shoulders. The weight of perfection is not on our shoulders. We have life. We have a journey. We are on this journey together, which means we're developing together. We're growing together. So the weight of that it's not as heavy, right? We can kind of cast that aside and really lean into the grace in the daily challenges, the thoughts in the daily challenges, the ways we can grow, right? The opportunities. We can look at those things in a different light, in a different perspective. And then how do we make faith sustainable? How do we strengthen our faith in a way that's sustainable? How can we incorporate it into our daily lives? A lot of people struggle with this, right? Especially, working full time and, trying to do so much with the kids and having all of these other things that happens. It really becomes like this thing of, I really don't have the time that I thought I have, or, I really need more time. And I want to challenge you just a bit to maybe try to set aside, some time earlier in the morning or later at night. Whatever feels right to you, or if you have a quiet moment during the day. But I don't want us to get to a point where we feel that it's unnecessary to just take a moment and be in gratitude and seeking our instructions for the day or for the moment. This is where we're going to get our strength. This is where we're going to find the strategies, right? And then, I don't know, whether that is on your commute, whether that is with your morning coffee, with your evening tea, I don't know. But whatever that looks like for you, it is important to build a practice, build a routine that will incorporate your faith-based practices into your daily life. Even if you have them where you incorporate them with your children, right? Developing their daily practices, developing their routines of prayer, whether you guys pray in the morning or in the evening, just however it feels right to you, and you know that it is something that is developing you and strengthening you, then I want you to do more of that. It's also important to be around like-minded people and find a community of believers. Really, having that support is unmatched. As you guys know, we are expats in the Middle East, and the dominant religion here is Islam. And it does get a little lonely here, trying to cultivate and strengthen our beliefs as a community. But it's possible. It's just not as open, and it's just not as easy as it was when we were in the States. But we understand the importance of it, whether that is just sitting around like-minded people, sitting around believers and having conversations, that is important. That is what strengthens you, even when your faith seems like it's not able to uphold the amount of challenges and the weight of the world that's happening right now. Then you look to your community and you try to connect with others and see how they can be a source of strength for you. As community, as women, we have to be able to depend on other people. We have to learn that the weight of the world isn't just on us, that we can find community and depend on them. The last thing I'm going to hit on is really how we balance faith and realism. I want to make sure I clarify that this isn't one of those toxic positivity things where we are, not using our natural eyes to see things, where we are not using our resources and our understandings as we live in the human world, but we are collaborating our faith. We are collaborating faith and realism as a way to navigate this very real world. We have to make sure that we are understanding certain perspectives and that we have an open mind to see what is happening, but also lean on our faith when we feel weak in the natural. So we want to use faith as something that empowers us and that anchors us, and we also want to use our realistic understandings and tools to be a guide also. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope that this was helpful, and I will see you guys next week. That's all for today, and I hope that you're feeling inspired to navigate your shifts with grace and authenticity. But remember, you don't have to do this alone. Our growing community is here and ready to support you. You can find the link to that one in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, I want you to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a mom who may just need a little support and encouragement. Don't forget to connect with us on social media. We are on Instagram and Facebook at Momship Mastery, and those links are also in the show notes. Before we go, here's my little reminder. You are an incredible mom, and you have the power to nurture your inner well-being and create meaningful connections and relationships. Embrace the journey, cherish the moments, and continue to thrive in your momship journey. Until next time.